Hi! Welcome to Kickball 365. This is First to Third, episode 80. I am joined today by Michaela.
Hi.
And also captain of Sofa King Good and some teammates. Tyler, how you doing? Why don't you introduce your teammates?
Hey guys. Okay, so thanks for having us on. These are two of the original founders of Sofa along with Max. Elliot and Evan, they're brothers. We have our catcher and one of our starting center fielder. And yeah.
Very cool. Well, congrats. Thanks
Welcome,
for coming
guys.
on.
Thanks for having us on.
Yeah, definitely.
So congratulations, National Tour champions. How's it feel?
Good, thank you.
Yeah, a lot of traveling.
Yeah, it was fun. It was a fun award to earn. A lot of travel, a lot of fun parties. It's good.
Very cool. Yeah,
You
congratulations.
guys had a really good year.
Yeah, it was fun. It was fun and good at the same time. So
A lot of second places though. We lost like 4 finals or 3 finals, which was rough. But I guess it's better than not making the final.
Yeah, we finished the right way in Arizona to finish out the season. So
I'm glad you didn't pull an Arizona from last year. Last year's Sofa, you guys lost in the Elite Eight, and everyone was kind of going, "What the hell just happened?"
We lost to we seem to always play our last pool play opponent in the first round of the limbs, and we mercy rolled them, and then they turned around and beat us an hour later, which was really shocking. So yeah, we really shit the bed on that one.
Well, very cool. Congrats. You guys went to 6 events.
That's like the hardest.
Go ahead, Michaela.
I was just gonna say that's the hardest thing to do is beat a team twice. So you never want to pull the team you just beat first round of Elam. That's the worst.
Yeah, I totally agree. It's really hard to do. So it happened again this year in Arizona, and we almost did it again. We almost lost to Riot. They came really close to knocking us out. It was a 2-1 game, and we kind of squeaked out of it. It was I would have died if we lost to another pool play opponent the same way.
we were sleepwalking.
Well, you guys barely beat out Panic Attack, who everyone thought was going to win it. Panic went to 3 events and won 2 out of the 3. But in the end, the way it works for on the National Tour Circuit events is you attend an event, you earn points. You guys went to 6. You won at Best of the West in Long Beach. You won Arizona. Runners-up in Austin, Texas, in Albuquerque, and in Denver. So you guys at least got to see part of the country that a lot of folks didn't. So you guys finished very strong, and again, congrats. And with that win, or with that being crowned national champion, you guys are the #1 seed going into the Circuit Cup Championship.
Thanks, man.
Congrats again.
thank you.
Which brings us to today, October 4th, Final Field Friday. The pools are out.
Yay! It's official.
Yes, they are.
It is official, and I think everyone on the Facebook page, Twitter feed, and forum looked at the pools and said, "Oh shit."
This looks like a crazy tournament. This is a lot of good teams going.
Pretty much.
A lot of good teams.
Yeah, definitely. So for folks who have no idea what we're talking about or interested in what the Circuit Cup Championship is, we have 32 teams this year. We've got, what is it, about 530 so players coming from across the country. We've got 4 wild cards. Those are teams that couldn't attend a circuit event, applied and were accepted after they were evaluated by the 365 selection committee. And then we've got 28 teams that are registered circuit teams. One of those teams was a league champion out of New Orleans. But in the end, the pools have been crafted. The pools are essentially the points of these teams that they earned throughout the national tour, and it's going to be a wild ride.
Yeah.
Definitely. All the schools are intense.
I think everyone's kind of had that opinion today, or just kind of reaction is just like, yeah, it's going to be. Let's start with the basics, though. So before we get into pool breakdowns, just the teams coming, there was a thread started on the boards. Toughest kickball tournament ever. Thoughts?
Yeah, go ahead.
I say we've been going for years now. I think this looks like it could be the hardest one we've been a part of. I mean, I know that Founders Cup a few years ago, but we were kind of new to the game, so this is a little different. I think a lot of teams have been doing this for a while, and these are the teams that all want to win. Everybody here is coming to win and have a good time, but this is deep. This is a very deep tournament.
There's several teams in each pool that you expect to go on, and not everybody's going to be able to, but you got to beat the best to be the best. So we're looking forward to it, but it's fair, and we're all in the same boat because every pool it's pretty tough. So
I think another thing that's making this hard is now that you have so many events, everyone's so much more battle tested, and there's a fucking video of every single game that's ever been played. So you can really there's no surprises. We're not going to surprise anyone by bringing in a certain player at a certain position, or nobody's going to come into bat and all of a sudden you're surprised that guy kicked home, that this guy has a big leg. Because everyone sort of scouts everybody, and now they're playing so many events that everybody's just progressing super fast. So it's absolutely the hardest tournament. Winning this is going to take some serious skill and a lot of luck, and some good call.
Yeah, a lot of luck too. I agree.
Yeah, I think it's fair to say you made a good point that everyone's battle tested. A lot of the wild card teams, as they've been talking to us at 365, have been asking who are these teams? And the first place we tell them to go to is if you're not watching YouTube, you're not ready. You need to be well prepared for this tournament, and that's actually one of the best places to go is just our YouTube channel.
Yep.
So, it seems there's the guys. So hopefully the Dodgers are winning right now. We'll go into some of the pools. All right, so guys, we're going to walk through each pool. We've got pools A through E, and then we've got the wild card pool. I'll just open the floor to pool A. I'll walk through the teams, and then I'll turn to Sofa for your thoughts. Sound good?
Sure.
All right. So pool A, we've got. Let's see if this works. Pool A, we've got Sofa King Good, the other shot callers out of D.C., El Guapo out of Kansas City, Missouri, the Peninsula Pounders out of Virginia Beach, and Swamp Donkeys out of Virginia Beach as well. What are your thoughts on this pool, guys?
Tough pool. I mean, tough pool, Tyler.
Well,
hi guys, we'll see you down at.
Yeah.
I was saying earlier, I'm excited to play OSC in a non-elimination game. Maybe a little earlier in the day. Hopefully, when we face each other, obviously it's important to win, but we won't be in a position where our day immediately ends if we lose, because they seem to always have our number by one run. I love El Guapo. Those guys are awesome. They're fun, and I've heard the Pounders I've never played them, so I'm excited just to see them, and I have no idea what to think about Swamp Donkeys. But overall, from everything I've heard, it's going to be those teams are good. It's going to be hard, like all the pools. It's going to be hard.
Michaela, I know you're getting ready to face the Pounders again.
Yes. I think that's definitely a game that OSC will be ready for. I think that, we've played them before. We've played the, Swamp Donkeys. I think we've played all these teams. I think we played El Guapo last year in Circuit Cup, if I'm not mistaken. So, and obviously Sofa. So we'll see, we know each other, so we know kind of what to expect. But, on any given day, it's who's going to show up, who's going to win, and make the least mistakes. That's pretty much what it's going to come down to.
Definitely. Yeah, last year OSC and El Guapo were in the same pool, and actually OSC played lights out, and El Guapo final score was 6-1. So this will be a redemption for the guys out of Missouri. Pounders, like we mentioned, defeated OSC in DC at their own tournament to advance in the elimination round. It's going to be a tough round, that's for sure. Again, in the circuit, we don't take the top 2 teams. We take the top 16 teams to advance. So it'll be a tough one. Not one of the worst pools, but it'll be a tough one. All right, moving on. We've got Pool B. We've got Panic Attack, number 2 seed, Flying V out of Atlanta, Shockwave out of D.C. or Bowie, Maryland. We've got JKI out of Fort Lauderdale, and we've got Rockstar Lifestyle out of D.C. Guys, is this a pool of death?
No, I don't think it's the pool of death, but it's a very hard one.
Yeah, it's very.
I don't know. I mean,
Yeah.
with the defenses that are, I mean, JKI never gives up any runs, and Panic Attack always scores a ton of runs, and Shockwave is just, they're crazy athletic. Like, there's every problem you have in an opponent is in that pool. I wouldn't want to be in it. I'm glad I'm not Brick sitting in between all those teams right now.
Yeah, that's definitely, I don't know about the hardest, but that's one of the tough, if you had to say. But I think a lot of the teams, maybe minus Flying V, play each other, another team that play each other a decent amount. So, they know what to expect. So it's kind of just who's going to show up and play better that day, that game.
I think it's safe to say that everyone in Pool B has seen each other in some form or fashion, either on the field or nearby. They've seen them at another event. There's a couple situations in Pool C and D where some of these teams aren't going to recognize the players on the opposite side of the field, so yeah, YouTube will come in handy. But B is definitely a tough one. It should be interesting to see. Do you guys see any major shock upsets? Say a Shockwave defeating Panic Attack, or Flying V taking McCoy's number out of Panic Attack, or do you see certain teams kind of staying at the top? Or
well, I think that it's easy to pick Panic to win this pool, or I guess to come out ahead in this pool, just based on the fact that the way they've been playing this year has been so impressive. But that doesn't. But I mean, Flying V last year hung pretty tight in a tough pool. Shockwave can always scare somebody, and JKI, it's almost impossible to score them. So I can't pick anybody.
All right, moving on to Pool C. We've got the New York Shower Hammers out of New York. We've got Cobra Kai out of Oregon, Florida. We've got the Meatballs, the washed-up Meatballs, the defending champs of the Circuit Cup for the past 2 years. Oh, Danny Balls out of Louisiana, KVLFK, and Chuck Norris, the sole Kickball 365 League champion. I just read off 6 teams, and for those at home trying to track who's going to play who, the number 1 seed and the number 6 seed do not play each other. The number 2 and number 5 do not play each other, and the 3 and the 4 do not play each other. So that means Danny Balls will not face the Meatballs, Cobra Kai will not face KVLFK, and Chuck Norris will not see Shower Hammers. So for guys, what do you guys think about Pool C?
This might be your pool of death. I mean, this is some tough teams in there. I mean, I have no idea who's going to come out on top. Those top 4 teams especially, they're all battle tested. They've all been through it. So, we did play New York Shower Hammers, very impressed by them. Cobra Kai's had our number this year. They're really good. Meatballs are always good, and I haven't seen Danny Balls, but from what I understand, they're pretty good too. So I wouldn't want to be a part of this pool.
No. I think someone on the board said Merry Christmas, Danny Balls, not having to see Meatballs in pool play. I mean, I wouldn't, they're the defending champs. So I know everyone, the joke washed up, but I wouldn't. They're defending a title. There's always something extra when you're defending a title. So
well said.
That's a tough pull.
Yeah, everyone. I mean, it's Shower Hammers has won a lot of tournaments in there. I mean, they won Austin this year, and Cobra Kai won Denver this year. Meatballs, obviously, they're defending champs. Those 3 guys, those 3 teams know how to win tough games, and I mean, if they're in a situation in pool play where they know they need to win a game to advance, they're going to be basically like playing eliminations for probably 2 rounds of their pool play games. It's fun. That pool is absolutely insane.
Yeah. Now I'll bring up Danny. Go ahead, Michaela.
I was just going to say, I think between Pool B and Pool C, what probably could happen is a tie really ending up hurting somebody, not getting that extra run, unfortunately, and somebody advancing above a higher seed. I really could see that happening in those 2 pools just because they're such good teams, and you get a 0-0 tie, 1-1 tie, and all of a sudden you're behind in run differential and something like that, and, you could be done early.
Yeah, absolutely. It's going to be every run that crosses the plate is going to be potentially going to end your day, and during pool play, which is nuts. I mean, that's insane.
Yeah.
Exactly.
We haven't really had that conversation in quite a while where literally every game you play in pool play matters. This is finally that tournament that every inning counts.
Exactly.
All right, we'll move on to Pool D. We've got the situation. There we go. We've got the situation out of Virginia Beach. We've got Relax and Lock It Up out of Texas, New York. We've got the Gargoyles out of California. Beta out of Atlanta. Walk of Shame out of Texas, I believe. And We'll Spot You 10 out of Texas. Again, 6 teams. 1 and 6 don't play. 2 and 5 don't play. And 3 and 4 don't play. Guys, what do you think about Pool D?
I think that the situation is kind of.
This is probably the pool.
Go ahead, Michaela.
No, I think Mikhail froze. You were saying?
I think situation's kind of sitting on top here. I mean, Relax is pretty good, and they've been around, but I think they're kind of the team that's kind of sitting on top of this pool in my mind. The Gargoyles have been to some tournaments this year. And although, they've been to tournaments, I don't know that they're up at the situation's level yet. They're working towards it, and I know that, and I commend that, but, the situation's kind of on another level there. Beta, I know, have been to a few tournaments. I think they have a couple key players over there. If we played them, nothing special, nothing bad. So I kind of think situation's sitting on top of this one right now.
Michaela? Pool D?
I think I lost connectivity, so sorry if I cut anybody off. But I was just going to say this is a pool I don't know very much about besides Sitch and Relax. I agree. I think situation, if they play the way they know how to play and they're supposed to play, they come out, leading the pool and make it into elims. Kind of same thing with Relax.
Wi-Fi is no good.
Oh, New York.
I think we just lost her again.
Well, I have a little bit to add on this. We've played every single team in this pool, and situation is a lot more intimidating than any other guys. But there's a fun thing is I know Gargoyles is super excited to play Walk of Shame because they knocked them out of the elimination round in Austin based on run differential. So that'll be fun for those two to play each other.
I heard dog.
Yeah, my Kelly just got home and the dog's going crazy.
Yay!
So I wanted to touch on the Gargoyles, a team that we talked about for the Arizona Kickball Open a couple weeks ago as one of those teams where we think if everything clicks, they can actually perform and advance really well. In Arizona, they did that. They made it to the Final Four, ended up losing to Brew Crew Cartel 4-0. But do you think that will continue going into the Cup? Do we see them maybe pulling an upset or two? They will face the situation. They will face Relax. Do you think they get one of those teams sleeping? Or?
They always could. I wouldn't sleep on them. I mean, those other two teams are, like Elliot said, a step up. But I wouldn't sleep on them. They could catch it.
Shut up.
He agrees with you.
Gargoyles have a lot of good players, but they have trouble getting a consistent roster to tournament. So it depends on who they get there. If they have some of their better guys there and they get rolling, they could definitely upset some people. Or if they don't get the right personnel there, they're gonna get real tired after 2 games, and then they're in trouble.
Yeah, we've noticed when registration ended, a lot of teams are at the number of players is between 15 and 22 in some cases. Teams are rolling in deep for this event because they knew they'd have this kind of pool play structure, so it's kind of interesting to see what everyone's showing up with. I will continue with Pool E, the last of the pools of registered circuit teams. We've got Lights Out, Pennsylvania, Brew Crew Cartel out of California, Fully Loaded out of Florida, the Gordon Bombays, Legit, and then Mixed Nuts out of Texas. Guys, what are you thinking about Pool E?
This is the pool I'd most like to be in. That's the polite way of saying it. That's it. That's really all I have.
The top, those top 3 teams, they've all been around. Brew Crew we know very intimately. So You know, we know a lot about them. I think, you know, they've been to all these tournaments. I think they know what they're doing. I think they lack a little bit of offense, you know, but they have a great defense. Lights out and fully loaded. Again, they've both been around. So those top three teams, I know Gordon Bombays have been trying to travel a little bit more lately. Obviously, we all appreciate that, and I think they're just getting better as they go. So it's nice to see them coming out, and I don't really know too much about the bottom two.
Michaela?
You know, I think Lights Out, you know, they're the East Coast, Lights Out and Fully Loaded are the two East Coast teams that I know decently well. I think that, again, kind of like the same thing with D, they play the way they're supposed to play. They shouldn't have any problems because I don't know very much about Gordon Legit or Mixed Nuts, so, you know, don't let a team you don't know sleep, you know, don't sleep on them. Because, again, they could put up 3 runs and you could still win, and all of a sudden, you know, who knows what happens.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to Lights Out. If it's the Lights Out that we saw at the New York Kickball Open, deep pitching, Kyle, phenomenal on the mound. Jason is a Charger, Joe, and a couple of the other guys on the team. They've really been clicking the last couple weeks. And they're playing right now. They have a season that's ongoing in Harrisburg, Pennsylvania, one of the Kickball 365 leagues. And they're going to continue to practice leading up to the Cup.
Yep.
Brew Crew Cartel as well. They just had the Arizona event. They went 4-0. They scored 36 runs. They allowed 6. These guys were Lights Out as well, as you guys were mentioning. Fully Loaded, which Fully Loaded is going to show?
Right.
Fully Loaded could go 1-3, or they can go 4-0.
Yep.
It depends on which team's going to show. Gordon Bombays went 3-1 in their last event. Their offense was clicking. I think they scored, I got it in front of me, 21 runs, 11 against. So they were performing well considering their schedule in Arizona, but again, when they start to face, I mean, they won't see Fully Loaded, but they'll see Brew Crew and Lights Out. They might, if they can't get past those two guys, they should get another win.
Yeah.
But it'll be really tough.
Yeah.
It's still a tough pool, but it's one of those, like, it's night and day on how they might perform.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, my comment wasn't to say that this pool isn't tough, but, you know, the Mixed Nuts, Legit, Bombays, and like you said, the Fully Loaded, you don't know what you're going to get. Those 4 teams, I'll take those guys over, you know, the guys that are in the middle of Pool B or Pool C as far as being an easier road. But still, that shows how good this tournament is. This is the quote-unquote easiest pool, and it's still really hard.
Right. Exactly. No pool of cake.
Yeah, definitely not.
Yeah, no pool of cake. Thankfully, it's good to look at this and go, just holy shit, this is by far the toughest kickball tournament I've ever seen. I mean, Michaela and I, and you guys as well, you played in the Walker Founders Cup in 2010 with 72 teams. It was massive. But you had 3 pool play games where you could coast, and then you went to a round of 32, and then the competition picked up as you got towards Sweet 16. But just like the Circuit Cup, Founders Cup has been growing, and the teams get better and better. So 3 years ago, you'd say, all right, Sweet 16, that's when it's going to get tough.
Yep.
Even last year at Founders Cup, it was very tough getting out of pool play. And this year, Founders Cup has got 44 teams. Is that correct?
I think so.
Something like that. Yeah, 44.
Yeah, and they've got the free agent market now that's just, you know, recruiting has been intense. They're flying in people. I think, actually, is Max in France right now recruiting a soccer player for you guys for Founders Cup?
I think somebody ready to go.
He is in France. Hopefully he comes home with some talent.
I think he went to recruit, like an old Greg Sykes or something, going to Greg Mason University, handing out his card. Anyways, so, you know, it's just going to be really intense to see how Founders Cup plays out with that free agent market that they've got going now with some of the teams. That Final Four Elite Eight of Founders Cup is going to be insane. In the Circuit Cup, we'll take the top 16. We're going to take an hour break before we get to the top 16 because I think everyone's going to need a nice hour to just decompress and get prepared for what's ahead of them. But it's going to be fun. And the last pool is the wild card pool. It's 4 teams, and I'll just take a moment to kind of clarify this because some folks have not had a chance to read the structure of the circuit document. That document is essentially our guide, our framework of how we run the circuit. It's written every year at the Rules Summit and at the Exec Conference, which is in October, actually, this coming up. And we write it to say, well, we're probably going to attract wildcard teams, and if we do, this is how we should fill them into the void. Again, we can't.
Sorry, guys.
Dodger game's on behind us. Sorry.
The Dodgers. In short, we have the structured document which kind of tells us how we should run the company and how we should run the major events. And in doing so, we said if there's under 3 teams, we should just throw them into the mass of all the teams, and that'll be that. But if there's over 4, and last year we had 2, the year before that we had 1, so we thought we'd get 3 this year. This year we had 6. We had 9 apply, 6 were accepted, and then in the last 2 weeks, 2 of those 6 dropped, and then we went back and asked the other 3, and they said no. So that's why there's 4 in this pool, and the structure of the document states that if there's 4 or more, they'll stay in their same pool. So these 4 teams will compete with one another, and then after they play their 3rd game, we will reseed and we'll put the top 2 teams to compete against one another and the bottom 2 teams. I believe that's how it'll work. The schedule will be out soon. Of the wild card teams, Super Dudes, everyone knows, they were supposed to attend a circuit event. They did not intend to be a wild card this year. Bayou Ballbusters, a strong team out of Louisiana, I believe Baton Rouge. The New Orleans Kickball Squad, again, another strong team out of the New Orleans area. And Balls Deep, a St. Louis Big Balls team. So we're excited that the 4 of them are coming. The other stipulation with this pool is no matter what their record, they are the number 16 seed going into the elimination round. So they've got a pretty tough road ahead of them.
That's exciting. 4 teams that haven't played a circuit event are coming. I mean.
Well, 3, yeah.
Well, 3.
But I think it's kind of funny. And I'll open it up to the sofa guys. 2 years ago, we said, "Oh, wild cards. No one's gonna. These guys are gonna be a cakewalk." And here come the Super Dudes, and they go to the Elite 8 or Final 4 in their first year in Vegas. Yep. Last year, again, they went to Arizona. They win Arizona and do the same thing. What's not to say that Bayou Ballbusters, New Orleans Kickball Squad, or Balls Deep pull a Super Dudes and surprise all of us? What do you think?
They absolutely can. I remember when we Circuit Cup, what was that, 2012 or 2011 when Super Dudes showed up. That was our first game of the day with Super Dudes. We were like, oh, we got this random wildcard team, and then I think they beat us 1-0 or we tied 1-1. No, they beat us.
They beat us.
They beat us and they beat Lock It Up in pool play. And we were like, that's how we started our day, was thinking it was some scrubs who had no idea, and they kicked our ass. So, yeah, that could absolutely happen with any of those teams. So I'm excited to see it break.
Yeah, I was trying to pull it up really quick for the teams that were accepted. I'll see if I can pull it up. But one of these teams, I think it's... I don't know if I can... Give me 1 second. I'll tell you who the heck I'm talking about. One of these teams has gone to Wisconsin. They go to Wisconsin or Little Rock every year and compete. Knox is actually a local team that beat O'Danny Balls this year. So it's not like they've never seen kickball competitive teams, who played the circuit. Big Balls Deep out of St. Louis. They've been around since 2007. They play competitively. They've been to the South Florida Kickball Open, if folks remember them, back in 2010. They've been to Arkansas. They were also part of the world record longest kickball game ever. Again, awesome job with those guys breaking that record this year. So, they're not. It's not a cakewalk pool. Yeah, maybe they haven't seen the cup, but it should be interesting to see what's the result of that pool. So I've been kind of surprised by the feedback that folks are posting, just assuming, oh, it's a cakewalk for Super Dudes. The guys are good, but they're going to be facing a lot of talent that brings the same kind of gameplay that they brought to the field, meaning they don't bunt. They just kick line drives, and that's what these guys do. In St. Louis, they don't do the bunt ball like a lot of the Waka-based teams do. Anybody who played in another league other than Waka, usually you get harassed for bunting. So
I don't think any team in this entire field has a cakewalk. As we've been saying, how deep the tournament is, there's just no cakewalk for any team. Any team who's going to win has to beat everybody that they see. So nobody's got a cakewalk. Nobody should complain about where they're seated because it is what it is, and we all got to beat up on each other in order to win this thing.
Yep.
And the top 8 teams will win. Our prize pool is $19,000. First place gets $10,000 in the cup. Second place gets $3,000. Final 4 teams, I think, get $1,000 apiece, and then $500 go to the Elite 8 teams. So there's a lot of cash on the line. We're looking forward to everybody competing, respecting the players, respecting the refs, respecting the game, and not going apeshit over a call. Don't throw bases. Don't get on the ground or anything crazy like that. And it'll be a great event. Looking forward to it. When are you guys getting in town?
Thursday and Friday. Kelly and I are going on Thursday night. I think a few more people are coming Thursday night, and then everyone else Friday. And most people are going home Monday. A handful of people I got to get out Sunday, but I'm looking forward to a football Sunday in New Orleans with nothing to do.
Yeah, Barcadia is the bar we're going to be at. We got the entire porch, and they got TVs galore to watch the game. And it's like 6 blocks from the Dome. So folks who are Saints fans or Cowboys fans, they're playing each other. I doubt there's tickets, but Michaela,
No.
you going?
You're outrageous.
They're like $500
Yeah,
each.
it's ridiculous.
Yeah, no, we talked about it. We threw it around because I think, 1, I want to go to the Superdome. I think that would be awesome. And 2, I got to see my boys play, but no, it's not going to work.
All right, moment of truth, guys. Final 4 picks. I'll give you a moment. All
Oh
right.
man.
I know one of those teams for us.
You got,
Yeah.
again,
I mean,
we're going to reflect on this. We'll look back on this
let's-
podcast in about 6 weeks or a week or 2 after the Cup, and we'll see who was right and who was wrong, who gets a bottle of Fireball from me.
That's a prize.
That is a prize. For those of you at home who are a fan of Fireball, if you guys were in Arizona, I heard 33 bottles of Fireball were purchased at the after party. Congratulations.
That's crazy.
That's a lot of freaking Fireball.
Yeah. I mean, they're an awesome sponsor. You know, thank
Over
you
there,
for
it sounds like we're
sponsoring.
frozen.
But, oh.
Are you still there, guys? All right, guys. So Final 4. We'll turn it to
What
the
happened?
Come on.
We're here.
We're
Can you
here.
hear us?
It
Can you
sounds
hear
like
us?
We can hear
I can
you.
barely hear you guys. It's like it's getting all fucked up.
Final
Yes.
4 predictions. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Looks like we're coming
It sounds
back.
like
I think we're losing connectivity with them.
That's wonderful Google
Yeah,
Plus in the live shows.
Dang it.
Can you guys hear us?
We can.
Yes, now we can.
I think they can hear us.
Thumbs up.
I'm going to throw out OSC, Panic Attack, us, and I'm gonna put the meatballs back in there.
All right, so I got
Put
OSC,
the meatballs
Panic
back in
Attack,
there.
the
I think
Meatballs,
they're gonna-
and Sofa King. That's what I'm hearing.
I'm throwing it out there. Who knows? Yeah, who knows what's going to happen? But I'm throwing it out there. And I think the meatballs are going to come with a little chip on their shoulder, ready to defend a title.
What's new about that? I think I got Sofa, Sitch, Meatballs, and for that 4, man, that's tough.
I'm thinking shower hammers for that 4th spot.
Yeah, I think that's a fun one. Yeah, so we'll say Sofa, Sitch, Meatballs, and Shower Hammers.
I'm with that.
My turn.
Michaela?
I'm OSC. Losing in the finals last year sucked. It was a great game, but it sucked. So, Meatballs, love to play them again. I think Sofa. I think you guys could come out there, and then I'm between Panic Attack and Flying V. I'm interested to see. I don't know. I could see Flying V pulling one on Panic and beating them. So I'm gonna go with the V.
All right.
Okay.
What about you, Ab?
Right now, I'm looking at these teams and then thinking about how deep they are because I think a team that wins this thing is going to have one of the deepest rosters in New Orleans. So I'm looking at the list going OSC, Sofa, you guys have a deep pool, Panic, a deep team, Panic, Flying V, come with a lot of players. Shower Hammers, I mean, Oakley's getting married this weekend, so I don't know if his game's going to be on. He might take a couple weeks off. Cobra Kai, So I've got the Situation. I think they're going to come ready to rock. Panic Attack will come with a very deep team. Although they're not even playing kickball right now, they're still practicing. I think a couple of the guys are going to Founders Cup. Flying V, and then OSC. So 1 out of Pool A, 2 out of Pool B, and 1 out of Pool D. We'll see.
I like it. I like
But,
it.
I do think the Meatballs will do well, but I think it's time to crown a new champion. No offense, guys. I love you, but we're ready for a new Circuit Cup champion.
Yeah. I totally agree. I respect the shit out of the Meatballs, but I think the whole circuit community wants them to lose. I mean, it's just they've won so much circuit stuff. It's like, all right, let's.
I think they pulled in $28,000 in the last 2 years or something ridiculous.
Oh, yeah.
Actually, it's over $20,000 just from Circuit Cups alone.
Mm-hmm.
Well, let me ask a couple random questions. Just give me a yes or no. No really debate. Chances, or give me a number, or over 50, whatever you want to do. Chances a third seed or less wins the Circuit Cup this year, meaning within each pool, like the third seed within a pool. So like El Guapo, Pounder, Swamp Donkey, Shockwave, JK, Rockstar, Beta, Walk of Shame, Gargoyles, Will Spot You 10, O'Danny Balls, KVL, FK, Chuck Norris, Fully Loaded, Gordon Bombay's Legit, McNuts. Any chance any of those teams will win the Circuit Cup this year?
No.
No.
No, not
No
even.
offense, but no.
Any chance?
Well,
Any-
Meatballs are 3 seed.
Meatballs are a 3 seed. Other than
okay,
them,
ignoring the Meatballs.
Yeah, I was going to say, what about them?
No, I say no.
no.
All right,
Not including the Meatballs, no.
still ignoring the Meatballs. Any chance any of those teams makes it to the Final Four?
I don't think so.
either.
Not with the picks I just gave, no.
I went with Michaela. Nope.
It's too deep.
The chances of something like this happening, it makes for good discussion.
Yeah.
Chances of no California teams make the Final Four.
There's no chance that happens.
Michaela, what do you think a California team, whether it's Sofa, Gargoyles, Brew Crew, Bombays, who else am I missing, guys? Was that it?
That's
Is
it.
it
Yeah.
high
That's it?
I think they do. I mean, there's that whole, and I'm not really part of it, that whole East Coast, West Coast. I think it's time that there's West Coast in the Final Four and in the mix.
All right, chances of a 50-50 split, East Coast, West Coast? Or is it all going to be East Coast?
No,
I don't think so.
no chance of that.
Nope.
All right, well, we need to settle this East Coast, West Coast thing.
I don't think there is an East Coast West
It's going
Coast.
away. It's going
There is
away.
on the boards, but to us there isn't. You know, we all need to look at it as that we're all kind of one big group getting together and trying to get everyone together. I mean, look, the East Coast kind of got everything running, but you know, us and a couple other teams out on the West Coast are really trying to pick up the slack. And
I think you guys are doing a great job growing the sport out there, and I think sometimes East Coast, West Coast kind of comes up when, no offense, the boards get a little boring. You know, that's something that people throw out there, and because it gets everybody riled up, and it's an easy, thing to debate.
So, in the history of the Waka Founders Cup, there's never been a West Coast champion, correct?
Okay.
I don't think there is. I can't remember at the moment.
I don't know.
Chances of a West Coast team winning the Circuit Cup before Founders Cup, that would be pretty intense. Well, guys, it looks like we're having a nice little Google Plus connection issue with you again. Good luck to the Dodgers. Thank you again for being on the show, Michaela.
Good luck, good luck in Founders, guys. It's great having you on the show, and we'll see you definitely Circuit Cup pool play.
Oh, they're back.
All right.
Well, guys,
Thanks for having us. Bye, guys.
See you in Vegas.
Yep.
yeah.
Bye, guys.